Hey, in this video, we're going to be taking you through some of the cryptocurrencies that you're going to want to buy in order to become a millionaire over the next few years. So in this video, we're not only going to be sharing with you some of the cryptocurrency stocks that you're going to need to buy in order to make those millions of dollars for yourself, even if you've only got a couple of $100s to invest right now. It's not going to matter, okay? And we're also going to be going through where we are on the sort of life cycle on the way to mass adoption and proving it so that you can have this knowledge for yourself and draw your own conclusions on this stuff. We're also going to be taking a quick look, first of all, at some of the recent success stories that we've seen through Bitcoin mainly and other cryptocurrencies, and seeing just how they managed to make their millions through crypto. So, without any further ado, let's go check it out. Investing in cryptocurrencies is so simple that even a 12-year-old could do it. Now check this out. This here is Eric Finman, and when he was just 12 years old, his grandmother gave him €1,000, which was supposed to be going towards his education, and instead Eric decided to invest that money in Bitcoin. Now, just 19 years old, Eric has transformed that €1,000 into over $4.4 million worth of Bitcoin. So you may be feeling, maybe this Eric guy is some sort of child superstar at 12 years old. But the truth is, if you look into his story, you'll find that one of his teachers even asked him to quit school and go work in McDonald's. Eric was certainly no academic superstar. And if a 12-year-old boy can do this, then why can't you? But it's not all about Bitcoin. Just check out this guy here. This guy is an Australian from Melbourne. His name is Scott Travis. And 4 years ago, he invested $2,000 into a relatively unknown cryptocurrency at that time known as Ethereum. Ethereum has now grown up quite some way, and in April 2017 he withdrew 3/4 of his $2,000 for $718,000. Generating that money took absolutely no skill whatsoever. All Scott did was he bought the cryptocurrency for the first time ever, left it there for 4 years, did absolutely nothing with it, and then 4 years on made over $1 million in profit. So there's two ways you could make it. One, a 12-year-old, anybody could do it. In fact, that 12-year-old, let's face it, might be a little bit of an exception to the rule. He didn't just buy it and hodl, he was actually trading. Very smart guy. And the other guy basically just held it, forgot about it for a few years. Possibly a very good strategy over the next 3 years, and you'll see why in just a few minutes. But first of all, let's check out this one, yet another one. This was a guy back in 2013. I was still in university at the time, doing a web development degree. I remember this coming out. It was covered by the BBC here in the UK. So March 23rd, 2013, you had a guy in Alberta in Canada. I've been to Alberta, love it. And this guy wanted to sell his 2-bedroom little, not an apartment, a bungalow, I think it is. And it was going for 405 Canadian dollars, which at the time, because Bitcoin were trading for about 70 Canadian dollars at the time, it would have been about 5,750 Bitcoin for him to sell his house with Bitcoin in 2013. So today, let me see, if we're going to look at today's prices, I haven't had a look, I think it's about 6,500. So if we're talking 5,750 Bitcoins times today's price, the guy is worth over $37 million. $37 million for his $400,000 house. Not bad, right? Not bad at all. If you haven't heard of that, I believe the guy's name is Taylor Moore. Check him out, Google him. And a very interesting story, something very simple you could do today, although maybe Bitcoin wouldn't be the best option to go for, because Bitcoin obviously has already had its exponential growth from 0 to thousands already. So if you're going to look for the same type of growth from Bitcoin would basically have to go to a couple of $1 million for you to get the same return. It's not going to happen because of the 21 million Bitcoin already in existence. That isn't going to happen, but with some of the smaller altcoins, that is where you want to be heading. So let's just jump across here now to the technology adoption lifecycle. Now this is something that came out of Iowa State University back in 1957 and was made pretty popular and famous by a guy named Everett Rogers in his book Diffusion of Innovations, and it can pretty much explain the rise of every modern technology which has come about and the life cycle as it hits the mass market, mass majority that we're looking for in cryptocurrencies. So this happened with Amazon, Facebook, all of the technologies, mobile phones, even cars, and basically any sort of technology. This is the life cycle that it goes through. First of all, you've got your 2.5% of innovators. This is the very technical crowd, which will get in early, very, very early stage. Then early adopters, so just when the innovators have made it so that normal people can use it. This is your early people which have got in. And then you've got the early majority, so this will be larger corporations like banks, etc., that start coming on and then bringing in the masses. So it's just the average everyday Joe start coming in. And then you've got your late majority, so that is really the majority of people coming in, and also where the main amount of money is made as well as you come up that curve. And then you've got the laggards at the back. So even back in 2007, 2008, when the iPhone was already out, I actually knew somebody in the army that did not ever have a mobile phone. That's right, so the Nokia 3210, the 6210, all these famous phones, this guy had never had a mobile phone, even in 2010. That guy is a laggard. So what we want to work out is exactly where in this life cycle we are with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general. So we've got the early innovators, and you might have a guess that we've passed that stage now, maybe the early adopter stage and into the early majority possibly. So it does actually have a percentage for the percentage of population which are involved in this. So to be here, entering into early majority, we'd be looking for 2.5% plus 13.5, basically 16%. And with a quick Google search, we can find out how many people there are in the world by household. And as you can see here, we can actually scale this down so that we've just either got the women or the men. Does it really matter for a household? We'll pick the guys. And you can see there's just over 2 billion guys in the world, which are of working age, so between 15 to 64. So we're going to be a little bit more conservative. We're just going to go with 1 billion because there's a lot of countries out there like the Philippines, India, South America, where a lot more people make up one household. So we're looking for how many people are using cryptocurrency at least in one household. Hope you get the picture. So here we go. We've estimated global households of 1 billion, which means that 16% would be 160 million people. So if we have 160 million people around the world, we can pretty much call it that it's 16%, and we're entering into the early majority of people actually using cryptocurrencies. So let's take a look, and we'll Google once again for how many people are actually using Bitcoin wallets right now, because naturally, if you're using cryptocurrency, you will need a Bitcoin wallet in some shape or form. This website does statistics, and if you read through the site, you'll see does actually say that they understand that people which are buying cryptocurrencies may have more than one Bitcoin wallet spread across different devices, etc. So they've worked this out as to how many actually belong to a single user, so how many cryptocurrencies users there actually are. And as you can see, it's 25 point whatever million, but we're actually going to call that 26 million. So if you see here, we have Bitcoin wallet users, 26 million. And that means that if we take the 1 billion households, as we call it, and we separate that between 26 million, that is, of course, 2.6%. of the population actually using cryptocurrencies right now. Puts us right there, just in the beginning of the early adopter stage. So if these guys that we've just been looking at have already made millions from cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, we are only just scratching the surface of cryptocurrency on the way to mass adoption. We are only still in the early adopter stage. So what does this mean? If you take a look at your Facebook profile, for me, I've got about 600 friends in my Facebook profile. So for every 100 friends, there should be 2 to 3 people which are investing in crypto. And I've got to say, you know, if I'm going to work that out from my friends on Facebook, looking through the list, I could probably name about maybe 5 or 6 which are actively buying crypto, and that's me. So I would struggle to find that many people in my friends list, I'll be honest. But of course you don't know, because they're kind of secretive about this stuff, right? So I would say this is probably quite accurate based on that. I don't know what it is for yourself. You know, you might want to have a think about that yourself, but I would say it's probably pretty true. And of course, this graph has been used for decades now, and proven true for just about every innovation which has come about. So there you go, you have it in black and white. That's where we are. We're just at the early adopter stage. We've got plenty of room for growth yet. If you think they've made millions just getting up to this point, we have all of this left to go. So there is plenty of room out there for you to make a lot more than the people have already made, you know. So don't worry, do not feel that you've missed the boat. Absolutely have not at all. And if you want to actually check this out for yourself, it is called the Adoption Lifecycle. And many of them actually have something like you see here, where they have the chasm in between. Okay, this is innovators at the beginning, early adopters, which is where we are now, according to all the figures we've just been looking at. And then you have the chasm. And what the chasm is, if we scroll down, you see crossing the chasm here. Basically, the most difficult step is making the transition between early adopters and the majority. This is the chasm that he refers to. If a successful firm can create a major effect in which enough momentum builds, then the product becomes a standard. So what it's saying is you need some sort of major product, major mass market product that will bridge the gap and take it from a cool innovation into an absolute mass market product. Is there anything that you can think of which has happened like that before?
Today we all drive motor vehicles, and it's kind of a no-brainer, right? But it actually took 23 years for the idea to get to mass adoption. It all began in 1885 with a guy called Carl Benz, who created the very first motor car. And then it took 23 years until Henry Ford finally made the Model T, which led into mass adoption.
Yeah, that's right, guys. So Bitcoin may not actually be the one that you needed to make millions. We could be waiting for something which has not even come out of ICO yet. So do not worry, you've not missed the boat. We're still very early days in cryptocurrency. And let's just check out to see where we are with Bitcoin. Obviously, all of the cryptocurrencies rely on Bitcoin because Bitcoin is their major trading pair. It's only Bitcoin which is actually traded with US dollars. Everything else derives its value from Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin goes down, we all go down. So right here you can see Bitcoin back in 2013. Where it was very low. It was trading around the sort of $100 mark, you know, $70 to $100, and within about 6 months it went from $70 to $100 all the way up well over $1,000. Okay, and as you can see in this chart, we didn't regain that $1,000 for a very long time, not until January 2017. So that huge gap was actually about 3 years of sort of dilly-dallying around down here, from a massive spike up, 3 years to actually hit that again on the next bull market. So this is the bull market, just like the one back in 2013. And right now, guys, we have this classic, if we just zoom in a little bit, This is a classic descending triangle formation which has come about. So now everybody said last year when Bitcoin went onto the futures market that the banks and everybody, all these big financial institutions, they would be trying to push the price of Bitcoin down so that they could buy it up cheaper. Whether there's any truth in that, there might be a little bit. This is definitely what's been happening. As I say, here we are. This is now a descending wedge triangle. Now if you Google it, you will find that a descending wedge triangle is a bearish formation. In fact, it's about 60 to 70% likely to go down. And when it does go down, as you can see marked by this red line here, it will go down equal to the largest part of the triangle, right? So you see here, this is a number 9, so it's going to go down 9 points. There it is, goes down about 9 points. However, for Bitcoin, if you have a look at the top of the triangle, you can see that it's around the sort of 12,000 mark, the $12,000 mark, and it comes down to $6,000, pretty much where we've been the last few days. So if it lost $6,000 in value, we'd be pretty much at zero, right? So I don't think that's actually going to happen. Now, I could imagine that you might say it's lost 50% from the top point down here, and if we lost 50% again, we should be around the sort of 3,000 mark. If we look back to see if there's any support there around 3,000, you can see all these peaks here, which are around the sort of 3,000, 3,100, 3,200, somewhere around this zone here. We could definitely land in at, unless, okay, now I've been trading lots of markets since about 2010, and it's pretty inevitable when you see something like this that you're going to go down. However, if some super awesome fundamental reason comes out, really big news, which is very, very bullish, it can actually come out to the top side. So for instance, this ETF decision that everyone's waiting for, say if something like Goldman Sachs said that it was pushing through the ETF, wanted to get it through as fast as possible because they wanted to put $100 trillion into some sort of Bitcoin-backed pension scheme, then we might actually come out this to the top end. You know, you're talking a hardcore fundamental reason that Bitcoin's going to go up in value. I can't see that happening. Because even if that was true, which I don't believe it is, but if that was true, then why would the banks declare that now when they're sat here looking at the same thing we are, which is this bearish triangle, and they could actually just wait out a couple, maybe a month and a half, and we could be down to 3,000 and they could buy double the amount of Bitcoin. Just wouldn't make sense. So whatever you're going to be buying over the next couple of months or maybe a year or 2 years, the chances are there's no need to sort of spend all your money on crypto right now. If you've got some cash available, maybe put it in small amounts each month as we continue to ride out this little bear market just as we did before. This could go on. If it's anything like the last one, which we just showed you took 3 years, this could last until 2021 before we see the next real shoot up. So don't worry, don't try and put all your eggs in one basket too soon. What you need is a proper portfolio management plan. And this is where we got you covered. All you need to do, head over to muchuru.ninja/BMM, and there's a link for that just down below. And you'll see this video here. This is about building your own $1 million crypto portfolio. If you take a look at that, I ain't got time to go through it all right now. Obviously, this video's gone on quite long enough. And that'll go through a portfolio where an American investor offered me about $50,000 to invest in crypto for him. And I created this portfolio plan, which is exactly what you're going to want to do. Even if you've only got $500 to invest, it's a way to sort of break up the portfolio, determining risk for each section, and it really takes you through a very, very simple, it's a much more simple than you could imagine. Plus, if you're looking to join us as a Muchuru Ninja, all you need to do is sign up here, up there, okay? And it's absolutely free, anybody can join. When you come in, you've got a referral link there you can use to refer other people, earn yourself a few extra dollars, earn some more Bitcoin, You can download these. This is the Kerberos Investment Fund. So if you want to upgrade and become a master, you'll get access to that. That is the fund plans which I made up for that American investor that was offering $50,000. So that's that. You can take a look through that, and plus also the Bitcoin multiplier method, as I have right here. In fact, as I'm talking about this, and I'm talking about Bitcoin and how it's probably not the best investment, what you'll see here towards the end of the pack, so if you become a master, I will actually send you out one of these in the post, so you'll have your own copy of this. And this was written at the end of 2017, and you'll see that Bitcoin had gone from $750 all the way to $10,900, which was 1,340% increase in value. But it was the worst performer. Okay, so some of these other ones down here, Ethereum, Dash, they were actually over 5,000% increase. So Bitcoin was definitely the weakest link in 2017. Despite doing over 1,000%, it was still the worst you could have invested in. If you're looking to invest in what could give you the most potential, the biggest bang for your buck, you're going to want to come over to the Masters area, and in there what we have is this one here called the Whale Fuel module, and every single week on a Sunday we run an algorithm on all of the coins over on CoinMarketCap. So over here on CoinMarketCap you have all of these coins. There are literally hundreds of them. In fact, also if you look back in my videos, you'll find a video where I actually outline all of the, well, some of the calculations involved in this algorithm. So you can go through each one of these and do the calculation every single month or every week, as often as you like, just to see how they stack up against each other and try and find the best coins possible. Unfortunately, there is currently 1,855 coins that you'll need to evaluate and run all these calculations on. Obviously, being a developer, we created some software that will actually do all of those calculations for you and just give you a list every single week of the 3 best undervalued currencies at the time. And they generally are going to cost between about maybe $20 to $100, sometimes a little bit more. I think the most expensive ones were up towards the sort of $500-600 mark. And that is not just for one token, but that's enough tokens that will net you $1 million at a $4 billion market cap. So that is a great tool. A lot of people absolutely love that. We also have the Blockbuster Crypto. And in here, it basically keeps track of all of the 118 coins listed here on the periodic table of cryptocurrencies. And as you can see right now, there isn't a lot in the green, okay? So all we have, we're down minus 76.5% on all of these coins. And I think Bitcoin is down about 50% right now. There's Bitcoin at number 16. The most interesting coins on here are the ones down towards the bottom. So as you scroll down through this list, you'll find some of the top coins up here, which were right up in the list on CoinMarketCap at the beginning of the year, but they've now lost over 90% of their value. It's insanely cheap right now. But as I say, as we come over here to the Bitcoin chart, all of these coins, both from the Whale Fuel module and the cheap cryptos from these core currencies up here, could all lose half of their value again as we go into the next few months. So no need to rush out and spend all your money on crypto just yet. You can just do it month on month and just buy up little bits as what's affordable to you. But hey, you know what? This is all paid for stuff, right? So this is about being a master. This is about upgrading your membership over here on Mutual Ninja. And you do not have to do that. So if you can't afford the £69, this is as cheap as we could possibly afford it. Bearing in mind we're actually sending out physical copies of stuff anywhere in the world, no matter where you are. So you get the Bitcoin multiplier benefit, you get the periodic table of cryptocurrencies, and full lifetime access to all of these tools, plus the tools which we're building in. But if you don't want to do that and you just want to be just a normal standard member, that's cool too, because we've got some really great features coming out over the next few weeks. If you just go to the normal account page, you can see we've also built in this new request payment feature, so that when you're earning your Bitcoins by clicking on recent ICOs and checking them out each day, you can actually earn some Bitcoins for yourself. and now you've got this super cool way that you can just add in there and enter your Ethereum address, and we'll just send you out your Ethereum right there. So it's very, very simple, very easy to do. And in here you can see if you use your referral link, you'll actually earn $25 commission as well. And yeah, as you can see here, that's where you get your referral link from. And if you're not already a Master Ninja, just bearing in mind we have cut it to a maximum of 500 lifetime memberships. So there's currently only 82 lifetime memberships left available. I'm going away for France in a couple of weeks' time, just going to go to Paris and down to Biarritz and that. And when I get back, this should have probably sold by then, I should imagine. And it will just be a closed door thing from then on. And at some point in the future, maybe later in the year around November time, we're possibly thinking about maybe opening this up on a monthly basis. So we're probably, I don't know, we haven't really worked out the price, whether it's going to be £49 a month, £69 a month. But yeah, it's basically going to be a monthly payment system from then on. This is what we've got in mind. So you've got three options. You can either join as a master by paying with PayPal, or you can pay with any cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dash, whatever you got. You can pay through this link here with coin payments, or you can not pay at all. You can pay absolutely nothing and just join up as a normal standard ninja and still get a ton of value that way, as we're building in a brand new portfolio management system which will be available to everybody. That is definitely the big news from this video. We've done most of it. It's still in development right now, but we're hoping to release it within the next couple of weeks. Watch that space.